What, Brian?
He actually popped in on the Twitch stream the other day, and I was like, "Hey." He said, "I'll sub to you, but I won't sub to Spencer." I was like, "Spencer don't have a Twitch." He's probably just distressing watching this game right now.
Yeah, Utah is putting a licking on Oregon.
Yeah.
They're laying the boomstick right now.
All right, and there's notification. Beautiful.
What's the score between UTSA and Western Kentucky right now?
Oh, no, let me see.
Because ball games are on.
Let me do a little thing called check it.
Is that what they call it in the industry?
UTSA is playing right now?
Yup, against Western Kentucky.
What conference are they in?
USA. Good old Conference USA.
UTSA is up 42-20.
Jeez.
In the third quarter.
Go you go, Roadrunners.
Currently, Oregon is obviously losing 14-0, but what's these stats looking like? Looks to me like Oregon just can't stop them.
Or do much of anything, really.
Yeah, but when you're behind the sticks like that and the pressure's on. Okay, so Utah. How is it the case that Utah's up 14-0, yet their quarterback's throwing 2 interceptions?
That just tells me how bad Oregon really is. Brian, if you're listening, I'm so sorry.
I don't know, man. It's confusing because I don't know. I didn't watch enough of them to actually be able to diagnose what's going on.
I didn't watch enough of the Ducks either.
No. But here we are. Yeah, Will, it looks like Oregon and Utah are playing right now. UTSA, Western Kentucky, and that's pretty much it.
Our high school is up 10-7. Is down 10-7 at halftime.
Yeah, I heard about that. Callie was telling me she's watching on Facebook.
And the other high school from our area was down 21-0 last I checked.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, well, looks like last week was just going to be that, and that's okay.
Yeah, our high school can probably come back. The team we're playing beat us last year, so.
Yeah, I was worried about that. But hey, you never know what's going to happen.
It's a good team, though, because they beat, like, the number 1 team in the state. So.
That's one possession game.
They upset the number 1 team in the state last week, so.
Yeah, it's a one possession game. I feel all right.
Down by 3.
Yeah, we'll take that.
We know how those games go.
Our defense is playing good enough.
I mean, we always do. We've had good defense since the dawn of time.
Yeah. Since God woke up one day, it was like, let me make football. They'll have a good defense.
Best winning percentage in state history.
What is the biggest loss they've ever had? Like, points-wise? I don't think I've ever seen them just get blown out.
No, I've never seen them get blown out. Not while we were there.
No.
We have 114 subscribers.
Yeah, man. Isn't that amazing?
I think we might have lost 3 because I thought we had 117 the other day, or I might just be tripping.
Accounts get deleted for inactivity. Sometimes people are just like, never mind. I'll resubscribe later. Sometimes people delete their accounts.
So there's 3 watching now. So like me, Will, and who else?
Amy.
Yourself.
Amy, I don't watch the show personally. Not a big fan.
Yeah, I'm on it, but I don't watch this shit.
Yeah.
Welcome back to your regularly scheduled shit show. I love how you have a Christmas tree in the background.
Oh, yeah, brother. We just put it up tonight. It's Christmas as hell in here.
I'm probably not doing that this year.
No? Not at all?
No. My mom will probably do one, but we ain't going to do one at the house. I have a little Lego Christmas tree that I bought last year.
Yeah. Callie's obsessed. Oh, hey, look. The show's about to start. Look at that. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hey, man.
Welcome back.
How you doing?
sorry for last week. Real shotgun wedding type beat that we had to do last week.
Yeah, I don't even apologize. I felt like it was a pretty good show.
That was a very good show. It was very fun.
Mm-hmm.
But now we just get to sit down and just kind of chill. I feel like I'm wearing a lot of yellow right now.
Yeah, you look like a damn traffic cone.
Banana.
Mm-hmm. A banana.
Cones are usually orange, but okay.
Well, I said traffic cone, but I meant like a sign, like a traffic sign, like a caution sign. You look like caution tape.
Big yellow school bus.
Yeah, we're off to a great start. Well, welcome everybody to the Gameday Breakfast Podcast. I forgot what this show's about, honestly.
On the Hash Browns and Hash Marks YouTube channel.
Yeah. What is this show about
Today
again?
we'll be talking about... It's usually about college football, but...
Oh, no, that can't be true. I'm not a fan of football. I don't like football.
This week we're talking about ficuses.
Yes.
Talking about trees.
Yeah, horticulture. Great topic for a podcast. So let me ask you a question, man.
Will says the trees in Mastodon's podcast.
Yeah, Will was part of our live studio audience last week. Well, let me ask you a question. Would you mind recounting the events of last weekend? Because if you recall, I was not okay.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch much of it, but LSU beat A&M, which I did not expect. I saw the last play because we were out to eat with my family. We were in Austin.
It was the only one that mattered.
And yeah, I didn't expect that shit at all. But hey, I'm happy Coach O got him a win before he left.
Yeah.
He gave his exit interview. He was like, I'm not coaching the bowl game. Me and my girlfriend are going to Pensacola. Like, very specific. Like, he was like, I'm leaving tonight and going to Pensacola. So, like, whatever. And then, hey, Auburn. You got to be quicker than that.
Can we not do this? Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Alabama's going to lose to Georgia this weekend. It wasn't going to matter.
Auburn, you had them.
Yeah, but it didn't matter because, again,
Auburn was the better team the entire game,
which is just more proof.
And they had a backup QB on a bad wheel, and they should have beat them.
Yeah, Alabama's weak against backup QBs on a bad wheel. That was their other loss this year. Well, their only loss this year, most of that.
Yeah, I watched the Iron Bowl every year. Like, that's the one day of the year I become the biggest Auburn fan on the planet. And if Tank Bigsby would have just gone down, Auburn wins the game.
Really? I didn't watch him.
I don't know if you saw the play. They had it was like a minute and something left, or like maybe more time than that. But if Tank Bigsby, he took off on a run and he got shoved out of bounds. If he would have hit the deck, they'd have been able to take 40 more seconds off the clock. Yep. And they were not able to do that.
Imagine managing a clock correctly. Imagine what that feels like.
Oh, I don't know. I'm a Cowboys fan. I don't know what that feels like. Because Mike McCarthy's our coach, and he has the worst. We won last night.
Because he wasn't coaching that night either.
Exactly. Dan Quinn or Kellen Moore should be our freaking coach.
They finally decided to run the ball there at the end, even if they don't get the first down. Whenever they showed it, whenever they were short, because they ran CeeDee Lamb around the edge. Even though they were short, I was fine with it because it was the right play call.
I just don't think Ezekiel Elliott has the sauce anymore.
He's hurt. He had the sauce before he got hurt this season. He was running over dudes earlier.
He slowed down a lot though. Just run Tony Pollard. Just hand it to Tony Pollard.
Yeah,
be all right.
TP's hungry. Anyways, college football. Speaking of, we were talking a minute ago about Alabama being weak to backup quarterbacks with a bad lead. Speaking of backup quarterbacks, one backup quarterback at let me make sure I get it straight, the Ohio State University has decided to enter the transfer portal. This is
Quinn Ewers.
5-star
recruit out of the state of Texas.
He is the second highest rated quarterback ever, I believe, behind Kyler Murray, if I'm not mistaken.
This man got $1.2 million in NIL deals, and he's played two downs,
man. And they were both hands off. He hadn't thrown a single pass for the Buckeyes, but he is coming back to Texas. His top three targets right now appear to be UT, A&M, and Tech. Honestly,
go to Tech. Flip the script.
Go to Tech.
Please go to Tech.
You got to think about each situation, right? You look at
if
Texas.
He's really that good. Tech's just got a new coach. If he's that good, Tech's going to be in a brand new Big 12 landscape potentially next year. So
yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like the choices for him are going to be either A&M or I feel like the choices for him will either be. Honestly, I think he's going to go to the Big 12. I think that you don't want to play in the SEC. I think he's going to do what Lincoln Riley did and say, no, forget that. I'm going to go somewhere where I can sit back, I can hone my craft, I can not play a grueling schedule, and I can simply rack up stats.
If you ask me who I wanted to play against the SEC West or like all of the Big 12, I'm probably going to pick the Big 12. I mean,
exactly. Well, and it's a situation where like this kid's already been paid, so like you have to imagine what is this mentality. This is a teenager.
He could drop out of college and he would be fine.
Right. This is a teenager that has made $1 million at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a different day and age. He has gotten paid. He hasn't gotten paid, what you would get in the NFL. So like he's still going to be obviously making. He's going to do.
He's like what, 18 years old, 19 years old. This man skipped his senior year of high school, so he's probably like 17 or 18.
And rocking the mohawk. I mean, not the mohawk. Rocking the mullet like he's Billy Ray Cyrus. I mean, he's got it. It looks good.
You should go to Coastal Carolina. Them boys love mullets.
He just swerves everybody and goes to Vanderbilt.
Based on Jimbo's confidence, I wouldn't be surprised at him. What's up, NC Runner? I see you.
How you doing, NC?
Again, I'm apologizing for seeing your chats late last week.
First of all, that was strange. I don't know how that happened. But yeah, I mean, so A&M would be a great target if you could say he's going to immediately go in and start, right? I don't know if that's the case. Maybe it is the case. But you also have to consider, like we say, what schedule do you want to play, right? Do you want to play the Big 12 schedule?
The Big 12
do you want to play
the SEC West?
Right. Would Kyler Murray, let me ask you a question. This is a good hypothetical. Would Kyler Murray have gotten the Heisman had he went to any school in the SEC? Let's take Alabama out of the equation because they make Heismans, let's be honest. But had he went to any school in the SEC West, do you think he would have won the Heisman? Do you think he would have went as high in the draft? Because he did go to A&M, and that...
Probably not.
So you got to think about where...
Because nobody else in the West was really good at the time. Maybe LSU, but I doubt it.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray's not like I can't picture him in an LSU uniform.
Oh man, that would have been some different years at LSU. Could you imagine that?
Yeah. I don't even know who our receivers were at the time. Like, because Kyler, he won it in 2018?
Mm-hmm.
So like, he would have had to, if that would have been the year that he went, he would have been there competing with Joe.
Yeah.
So like, imagine if it was Kyler won the Heisman and then Joe won the Heisman.
Yeah. Well, and you also have to think about what kind of offense are you going to, if you're going to be a quarterback that really wants to build draft stock.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I think Kyler Murray would have been really good at LSU.
I think he would have too, especially under that particular offense. I mean, maybe not this year's offensive scheme, but the offensive scheme then, whenever they just set in the spread the entire year, game over. But yeah, you got to think about that too. I haven't seen a lot of tape on this kid. I've just heard the name. I've heard he's good. You got to think about, you got to think about the kind of place he's going to fit in, right? Maybe Tech is the best option because they're going to, as I understand it, they're going to throw the ball.
Lubbock is a very mullet town.
Yes.
You want to wear a mullet, move to Lubbock.
Just have a dusty mullet. I don't know that A&M is the right fit. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would love to have him in there. Obviously, as an A&M fan, that would be fantastic. But as I understand it, I think A&M actually already has a 5-star quarterback recruit.
5-star recruit.
Yeah.
Like, so you got to look at Texas, right? Like, Texas still has old boy and the other guy.
Yeah. A dynamic duo, really.
Chase Cord. Was it Chase Cord? Is that his name?
Oh, and it's recruited or is there already?
No. They're right now.
Casey Thompson and
Casey Thompson and Chase.
Card.
Is it Chase Cord? Carson Cord?
Hey, it's a Hudson Card.
Hudson Card.
Where are you getting Chase from?
I don't know. I had the syllables mixed up.
Oh yeah.
I put the emphasis on the wrong syllable. Anyway.
Thank you for joining us. Anyways, but yeah, like you got to think about the type of place he's going to fit in, right? I don't know that the pro style offense, that you people want to call it that, at A&M is going to be the right fit.
I think he's like a dual threat. So like, he can sling it. Like I've seen him play.
This kid can go anywhere and fit in any offense. But I think you got to think about where
he should go to Florida. With Billy Napier.
Yeah, why not? I'd be fine with that. I'm so dead inside with football. This is a good. Okay, so quick little discussion topic, man. We'll make it very brief. But how do you? I don't know if we've ever talked about this before. And anyone in chat, I would love to hear your thoughts. Obviously, last weekend I was pretty torn up because A&M lost and the Cowboys lost, and it was just things were going downhill. It was a rough weekend. How do you cope with like a really tough loss? Like whenever the Astros lost the World Series, how do you cope with just?
Oh, I cried.
You just cried. You just get it out.
I did. I was upset.
Damn. See, I've never cried.
I let it out I let it out in the night. Move on the next day. Like
interesting.
I don't sit in it. Like I don't dwell on it. I'm like, oh yeah, it sucks. We lost the World Series.
Good for you.
But like next day I'm good.
I like that.
The only one I was ever super upset about, like days later, was like when Texas lost to Alabama in 2009, and when Dez caught that ball and they said he didn't. That's the only two that I've ever like have really held on to.
That hurts.
But other than that, I was fine.
I get so frustrated with college football, and I've talked about this before, but it's like if you start losing games, you don't just things aren't just okay and you move on to next year, right? Like in the NFL, because you're still going to get good players. But if you start sucking college football, people start decommitting, coaches get fired, programs fall apart with one too many wins, one too many losses. You lose a critical game back-to-back years, your program is going to start falling apart. It's time to rebuild. It's a disaster. So I think that's one of the reasons that college football losses hurt me as much as they do. But the way I cope, man, if it's bad enough, I have to take a break from all social media, because genuinely in the next like 4 to 5 days, if I see like highlights of that game where like maybe my team's lost or some play happened or some bad play call happened, if I see it, it's like poison in my veins whenever I see the graphic that has the final score and I see I'm just scrolling and I could be happy. I could not be thinking about it at all. I see it, it just turns my stomach immediately days later. That's the shit that pisses me off, man. I hate whenever I can't put it behind me. It's like I get reminded and I get re-upset the entire time.
NC Runner says he watches his favorite game from a couple of years ago.
Done that before?
Like if I'm upset about a loss, I'll
remember happier times. The fuck?
There's a bug on my desk.
Oh, they spraying away bad vibes. Is that how you cope? You spray away?
I spray away bad vibes.
Yeah, just spray the bad vibes away.
But yeah, or what I'll do if I'm like bummed out about a season, I'll watch highlights. Yeah. Like obviously LSU has a bunch of good highlights from 2019 to watch.
Oh yeah.
Like there's a really good video that ESPN did about Joe. I'll go back and watch that one a couple times.
Oh, straight
or
up.
I'll watch like the old Tyrann Mathieu highlights from back in the day. Mm-hmm. That man was a beast.
Oh yeah, man. So, I've watched highlights of the 2017 World Series Game 5 so many times.
Game 5.
Game 5. And look, you can say what you want to.
Best baseball game ever played.
Yeah, you can say what you want to about the whole cheating scandal, but that game will go down in history as one of the most nail-biting. It was so important. It was such a big momentum shift. So many back and forths in that game.
My ring light fell, but it's fine now.
But yeah, I feel better. I know last weekend I was like, I'm never watching football again. I think I watched the Cowboys last night. We got to win. I feel good. I'm okay. I'm going to breathe.
Hey, Cowboys, can you play every Sunday so Daryl feels good on Friday? I mean, every Thursday.
I mean, right. Win? Exactly. Dude. And I have my wrestling too, so I have other things I can look forward to and be like, yeah.
I don't know, man. It's like I don't get hung up on. I'm like, oh, that sucks. Like,
yeah.
I think if LSU would have lost the national championship to Clemson, I probably would have been a little bit hurt.
Yeah.
Like I probably would have held on to that one for
but
a little bit.
But nobody beating LSU that year though.
You know who else ain't nobody beating this year? Georgia.
Look.
Anyway.
Look, man.
Next topic.
The way Utah's playing right now, they're not gonna play them, obviously, but Utah might do it, man.
Next topic. We're gonna talk about how Iowa can make the playoff. Let's go. All right.
You know what happened to me? You know what happened to me earlier? I don't know if you're being serious or not, but you know what happened to me earlier? As I saw a commercial for Iowa versus Michigan. As the big, and I just had this moment. I was like, Iowa made the what? I thought, I just wasn't paying attention.
Minnesota beat Wisconsin,
right? I just wasn't paying attention, so I was just, well, I mean, damn. So I was big on Iowa all year, as you know, until they had the embarrassing loss early on. So I don't know. I think Michigan will win this game. I think that they're pretty spectacular, but I would love nothing more than a Michigan-Georgia national championship this year, personally.
Can I tell you about the funniest possible scenario that can happen?
I would love it if you did.
Okay, we need a couple of things to happen.
All right.
But this would be the funniest shit in the world.
All right, let's hear it.
Let's just say Iowa wins tomorrow.
All right.
Let's say Houston wins tomorrow.
Iowa and Houston. Okay.
Let's say Iowa and Houston win tomorrow.
Houston's playing
Cincinnati.
Okay, go ahead.
Let's say Iowa beats Michigan.
Okay.
Houston beats Cincinnati, and Baylor beats Oklahoma State.
Oh my God.
Okay. Let's talk. Because who's at number 6 right now?
I told
Notre
you.
Dame.
Okay, thank you.
And the committee
Brian Kelly-less Notre Dame.
The committee loves Notre Dame. They love Notre Dame.
But do they really love him without Brian
Cincinnati,
Kelly?
if they lose, period, if Cincinnati loses, they're out.
Yeah,
period.
of course.
Okay. How
Which they
funny,
might.
Go get there. How funny would it be if somehow Notre Dame made the playoff and then won in the first round and then went to the Natty and won it without Brian Kelly? How funny would that be? Like, dude, I'm an LSU fan, and I'm glad he's our coach. But like, how
that's the time. That's the timeline I live for. That's the timeline.
That's the only. Like, if I can't have a Cincinnati in the playoff, that's what I want. I want a Brian Kelly-less Notre Dame to win the national championship.
And then Brian Kelly just on his couch at home, like.
His petty ass would demand a ring. He'd be like, "You got to give me a ring."
Probably right. Yeah, I got him through COVID. I got him that far. We took our L to Bama in the playoff. Speaking of Brian Kelly, we have to talk.
He'd get a ring for him and Manti Te'o's girlfriend.
What is Manti Te'o doing anymore? Is he selling insurance like Johnny right now? I don't know what he's doing. We need to talk about Brian Kelly. First of all, let me just ask you a question. Also, right now the Utes are up 23 to zip at halftime.
Jesus, Oregon.
Yikes, big yikes. Let me ask you a question.
Utah, welcome to the Rose Bowl, bro.
Ooh, boy,
Ohio State.
How do you feel, Spencer, as an LSU fan, about Brian Kelly signing?
He's got a winning pedigree.
How do you feel about his personality?
Bump all that.
You're not worried about his personality?
He's never had like any crazy like off the field issues. Like what was the dude from Louisville?
I know you're talking about, but the name's not coming.
Bobby Petrino.
Yeah, Petrino. Yeah.
He's not like a Bobby Petrino-esque. Like, is he a little weird? Is he a little awkward? Yeah. But I think all college football coaches are.
Let me ask you.
You got to be a little bit weird to be a football coach.
Well, you got to be a little weird to coach at LSU. I mean, look at Les Miles. You used to eat the damn field before every game.
But look, this is going to sound like a
Coach
weird
Orgeron sound like a tractor every time you talk to him.
I love. I'm gonna say this though.
Go Tigers.
The last 3 head coaches at LSU won national championships. That sounds weird to say, but it's the truth.
Don't give me that stat. That makes me upset.
Nick Saban in 2003, Les Miles in 2007, Coach O in 2019.
I just kind of realized
I did not want like I kind of wanted Billy Napier. I liked Billy Napier, what he's been building at Louisiana. He's in Louisiana. He knows how to recruit in the state.
Yeah, but he got a weird last name. It almost sounds like nipple. Go ahead.
Yeah. I don't think LSU is like the spot for like a young, good-looking, like hot coach. Like that's not.
So you're saying they're never gonna go sign like a they're never gonna go sign. Like
Lincoln Riley wasn't gonna happen.
They're never gonna go sign.
It's not gonna happen, bro. Like
what's the guy's
name? You
need
like an old, weird, crotchety old man at LSU.
Yeah. They're never gonna sign.
And that's what Brian Kelly is.
Yeah, that's true. They're never going to sign what's-his-face, who's coaching for the Cardinals, whose name I always blank on.
Cliff Kingsbury.
They're never going to sign my boy Cliff. It's never going to be
They're
somebody like
Sean McVay.
Sean McVay. It's never going to be anybody like that.
It's not going to happen.
It's not going to be like a
Scott
baseball
Woodward,
coach looking, you know.
Yeah, Scott Woodward likes big names, but it's not going to be somebody like that.
How much you want to bet after they sign Brian Kelly, somebody asked Jimbo Fisher this week if he's going to LSU?
Did you see the interview with Lincoln Riley? He was like, hold up, stop all that. I'm not going to be the coach at LSU. And he wasn't lying. And then the next morning, it was like, I'm going to USC.
Yeah. Hey, he told the truth. But anyways, let me ask you a question about Brian Kelly. How do you feel about this man's voice? How do you feel about the fact that all of a sudden,
Boston.
How do you feel about the fact that all of a sudden he has a Southern accent the second he set foot on Louisiana State soil? The drinking age lower in Louisiana? I feel like it is.
No, it's still 21.
Okay, it's still 20. I thought at one point, whatever. They can sell. They could something else. They can sell liquor after a certain time that you can't do in other states.
You can buy liquor, whatever, in Louisiana.
Exactly. So he got some liquor whenever he landed. Somehow he became really.
He had
really
never
fast.
been to the state of Louisiana.
Well, as soon as he did, something awakened in this man because the way he pronounces everything changes. I got a little clip here for you. This is Brian Kelly.
Game.
Yeah, 2 days ago at Notre Dame, Brian Kelly saying the word family compared to today at the basketball game, how he pronounced the word family. Listen very closely. I'm going to turn this up as loud as I can. Make sure you guys can hear this.
I want to hear it. I want to hear it too.
But here it is.
Those incredible 12 years of my life, for me and my family.
Family, okay.
But for me and my family, being here in Notre Dame.
It's a great night to be a Tiger. I'm here with my family, and we.
Family. He changed from family to family. What the fuck?
I mean, he is from Boston.
Okay.
Right? So, like,
that's not how people from Boston sound, to my knowledge.
But he was trying to fake a Southern accent. So it sounded goofy as hell because he's from Boston. Like,
but why is he...
Think about it.
What happened to this man? Did he have a good bowl of gumbo? And then all of a sudden now
he gonna turn to Coach O. Give him like a pack of marbles and some good gumbo.
Give us a gumbo marble. He gonna show up next week. All right, here's his plan this week, boys. He gonna immediately have a shift.
I love how LSU just I love
LSU changes you, man.
It does. It attracts weirdos, bro, and I love it.
All I know is if we ever lose to LSU again, and I hear "suck that tiger dick" from anybody, I'm committing a felony.
That's my only thing I don't like about
felony.
LSU. That's the only thing I don't like about LSU is when we say that when the band plays neck. I've never liked that shit. And I was commenting on a page, and I was like, as an LSU fan, I don't really like this. Some dude was like, "You're not a real."
I bet they shat on you, didn't you? Yeah, they were like, And
I was like, whatever, man. It's just like, I feel like we could do better than that. But like,
hey, you know what? I joke about Brian Kelly, but I appreciate this man buying in. I appreciate him going in there, immediately trying to act the part, immediately selling it. You know, he's already made it at the basketball game, getting people hyped up. I respect it. You know,
I'll put it to you like this. LSU will compete for the West next year.
Oh, yeah. Well, hell yeah.
That's how confident I am.
I don't give a fuck
Brian Kelly.
who you are. If you're at LSU coaching for a couple of years, you should be able to compete for the West every year. The talent is too great. No, I'm talking
year one. He's competing for the SEC
that's great.
West.
And
he's going to be in the mix.
At his caliber, he should. But LSU has the talent. Somebody should be able to do that.
There's going to be four. There might be 5 really good teams in the West next year. Because Ole Miss is still going to be good. Alabama's always Alabama.
SEC West is just going to be.
A&M's going to be good. LSU's probably going to be good. And Mississippi State's on the come up. And Arkansas. 6 of the 8 teams in the SEC West are probably going to be really good next year.
Listen, and I don't. And you know what? Guess who's in no rush to get to that SEC West?
Oklahoma.
They don't want none of that.
And Lincoln
man.
Riley.
Not when they're struggling to beat Kansas.
They lost both of their coordinators, and they got like 7 decommits in the same day.
I cannot wait for the first game. I cannot wait for the first time that, Oklahoma shows up to Tuscaloosa and they lose like 80-3, and they're like, "Oh, we're not in Kansas anymore." What? I can't wait for that. It's going to be amazing.
I can't wait for
Tennessee to have a really good game with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't wait for them to struggle.
Here's what I can't
Florida.
wait for. I can't wait for that one time, because it's gonna happen. I can't wait for that one time when Oklahoma or Texas is like really good, and Vanderbilt is kind of decent, and they go into Nashville and Vanderbilt upsets them. Oh. I can't wait for that shit to happen.
Look, man, all I'm saying is Mississippi State is a team that will steal wins from teams they shouldn't beat, right? Tennessee will do the same thing. South Carolina will do the same thing. I can't wait. It's going to be fun.
If it should be, think about how the SEC landscape is going to look. The SEC West is going to be different when Texas and Oklahoma get here.
Who goes to the West? Who goes to the East? Do they shift anything up? Do they leave the teams the same and then just decide, all right, we're going to put Oklahoma in the West and Texas in the East?
Here's what you do, right? Oklahoma and Texas in the West. You put Auburn and Alabama in the East, and you move Mizzou to the West. And if you look at it on a map,
geographically makes sense.
geographically, you just like right down the border of Mississippi and Alabama cuts all the teams in.
Boy, it would make that championship game really interesting each year.
Well, you still get to keep the Iron Bowl.
You still get to keep the
But
Iron
now
Bowl.
Alabama versus Florida is an every year thing.
Yeah.
Alabama versus Georgia is an every year thing.
And then you get your Red River rivalry. You get your
You keep
Texas
the River rivalry.
You keep your Texas
You
and
You get A&M and OU back because that was kind of a rivalry back in the old Big 12 days. You get UT and A&M back.
Yeah.
You get OU and Mizzou back from old Big 12 days.
Isn't that crazy to think that's what we're going to be seeing in a couple of years? Oh, and by the way, the Big 12 is going to have Cincinnati and Houston.
Cincinnati, UCF, Houston, and I almost said Boise State.
NC Runner says Tennessee is going to be a top 15 team next year. I agree. They look like it. They looked like it at times this year. I mean, they were extremely close with Bama in the one game. They could have beat Ole Miss. Tennessee's got a lot of pieces in place.
They could have beat Ole Miss if they wouldn't throw mustard on the field.
Well, things like
they
that
threw
happen.
My shirt on the field.
Sometimes you just can't help it. Sometimes you just leave Subway.
Now that's the smart thing to do with when Texas and OU get to the SEC. But what
if they did some weird shit and just put both of them in the West, and then we're like, well, they're going to be uneven divisions now. That's just the way it's going to be. I wouldn't put it past them.
You got to have. I feel like we're going to come to a point where the SEC is going to be the SEC and the Big Ten are going to be the only two conferences that have a championship game. Because all the other conferences are going to be like, all right, we're playing round robins, and then
yeah, I could see that honestly.
But the SEC needs a championship.
Whatever they need to do to get us to a 12-team, 16-team playoff, or 8, not 16, 12 or 8.
You know what's going to get us to that 12-team playoff we talked about that they're going to vote on?
What's that?
If Cincinnati wins tomorrow.
Ooh.
I guarantee you, if Cincinnati makes the playoff, they are going to push that shit through so fucking fast.
I hope you're right, man. Hey, look, and if it needs to be the case, if that needs to happen,
because they do not want a group of 5 team in the playoff.
Right.
But it's probably going to happen. And they're like, no, we can't have this again. So they are going to vote on that shit fucking quick.
Exactly.
So fast it'll make your fucking head spin.
It just blows my mind.
But guess what? Now you got 12 teams in the playoffs, so a group of 5 teams is going to be making it all the time.
It just blows my mind, man.
You played yourself.
Why would you not want an extra week of playoffs? Do you not like money? I don't understand why there is such a hesitation. And I get it, schools are greedy. It's the same schools over and over that are campaigning, hey, we want to keep this, we want to keep this short. We want to keep the same teams in every year. We want to do the same thing. But man, it's so much better for business for everyone if this expands. I just don't understand why there's such a hesitation.
NC Runner says Big Ten East and SEC West merge to create a super conference. I fuck with that.
Hey, what if every year you
Except
just
we got to kick
them?
out Rutgers and Maryland. They got to go.
What if every year you just swap them? Just one year you have the SEC as it is, and then the next year you swap the East and the West between conferences, and you just have them play like that, and you swap them back-to-back years.
We need to have relegation. I swear to you. If we're gonna do this Power 5 Group of 5 shit, I know I've talked about this before, but Power 5 conference group up with pair off with a Group of 5 conference.
Yeah.
The loser. The team with the worst record in that Group of 5 conference goes down to the other conference champion. The other one moves up. So, let's say you do the SEC in the Sun Belt. Let's say you do the SEC in the Sun Belt. If Louisiana or App State wins the Sun Belt, they swap with Vanderbilt.
And then whoever wins the national championship each year moves up to the NFL. And whoever comes in last got to give up the first round draft pick and play a game. I don't know. Some bullshit like that would be fun.
That Big Ten East SEC West merger, that'd be like NFL light. That'd be like.
Yeah. An NFL light. Well, hey, man. We have games.
People talk about. Oh, we do. I had a thing.
Go ahead. If you got something else.
Yeah, we
please.
got a bunch of transfer portal stuff. Spencer Rattler's transferring.
Right.
Adrian Martinez is transferring from Nebraska.
That's right. I forgot about that.
That's shocked. Quinn Ewers, go to Nebraska.
Quinn Ewers. Oh my God! Could you imagine? Holy.
Go to Nebraska.
Scott Frost would be like, yeah, actually.
Spencer Rattler, go to Nebraska. Spencer Rattler. Go to Nebraska.
Both of them at the same time. Just take this giant quarterback competition and bring it all the way to Lincoln. That'd be. Ooh. You talk about sellout tickets.
Caleb Williams goes to USC.
Is Caleb Williams transferring too?
No, but I bet money he's going to.
Well, I tell
He's
you
going
what,
to finish out the season with Oklahoma, and I bet money he's going to
I promise you, Lincoln Riley's knocking on Quinn Ewers' door.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean,
who isn't, right? You know,
I wish somebody paid me millions of dollars to live in Los Angeles. I'd do that shit in a heartbeat.
It's the world we live in, man. Is the fact.
You know what made Lincoln Riley move?
That West
You
Coast
seen that
view.
dry ass brisket he put on Twitter? He looked at that, then he looked around the SEC West at all the good barbecue we cook, and he was like, "Nah, bro, I'm gonna go eat kombucha and quinoa in Los Angeles."
You said a dry ass brisket he posted. Oh my God. Okay.
So it's not a tough question. If you ask me if I wanted to live in Los Angeles, California, or Norman, Oklahoma,
Yeah, right.
I'm picking Los Angeles every time.
If it wasn't for football, man, like who would even?
That's no shade to Norman, but
I feel like Norman is the place to where if you're, like a wrestling heel, you go in and just already have so much shit to say, so you can get some cheap heat off the fans. It's just one of those.
when WWE was in Beaumont, and Vince McMahon said when he drove into town, it smelled like everybody walks around with shit in their pants.
And it's not a lie. It's exactly what it smells like.
That was the show when he drug tested Shawn Michaels, and he was like, it's better to be pissed off than pissed on, and Shawn Michaels threw a cup of pee at him. It was probably apple juice.
I forgot that happened. I forgot that they came to Beaumont for an actual
That was live
show.
on Raw,
That's
and I was
crazy.
in the crowd.
Really?
I was in the crowd, yeah.
That's amazing. I'm going to AEW in a
That was
couple
back
weeks.
in
I'm excited
that was
about
when
that.
Shawn Michaels was feuding with Vince McMahon, and Vince McMahon brought out God as a tag team partner.
What? I don't
Swear to
remember
God.
this.
Yep.
I'm just gonna real quick Google Vince McMahon and God versus Shawn Michaels. What comes up?
I'm so serious.
Excuse me. 6 matches: Vince and Shane McMahon versus Shawn Michaels and God in a no holds barred match. What the fuck? This is really here. Oh my God! I'm gonna go to this daily.
If it's
Motion
WWE, don't play that shit. We'll get copyrighted so
I'm
fast.
gonna mute the hell out of it. This is a backlash. Hang on, what is going on here? I'm so curious. There's no scroll bar. Yes, there is. What the fuck is going on? Okay. Well, that's something I'm gonna be watching later. Anyways, we have ball.
You didn't
games.
know about that?
I have never seen that. That's a thing.
Yup.
Will says, you know what? Okay, we got games to pick from.
That's mid 2000s WWE for you.
MAC Championship, Kent State, North Illinois, a game that I know nothing about. Teams that I know
This
nothing
game
about.
literally didn't even come up on ESPN. I had to search for this to find out who was going to be in the MAC championship.
Let's see. It's an 11 a.m. kickoff on ESPN, regular ESPN. So that just goes to show you how little there is on the show this weekend, since it's just championships.
Give me the Golden Flashes. Give me Kent State, because I literally know nothing about either of these teams, and I like Kent State's uniforms. They look like the Chargers, kind of.
Yeah, give me Kent State. They did a couple things right against A&M early in the year. I do want to say something about Kent State, though, if I can find this. No, excuse me. Northern Illinois, the Huskies. Their quarterback, last name is Lombardi. First name, Rocky Lombardi.
Used to play Michigan State.
I want to show you this man's haircut because he looks like a supervillain in the making. Like I feel like he's going to have a supervillain origin story. Look at this haircut. This is that's one of a kind right there. That's extremely blonde.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like if someone shrunk Hulk Hogan and then mixed him with Daniel Radcliffe. That's what this dude looks like.
It
Anyways,
hasn't popped up for me.
yeah, it'll show up in a minute. You'll get what I'm going at. Anyways,
Yeah, he used to play for Michigan State.
yeah, I'm with you. Give me Kent State. Mountain West Championship, we got Utah State versus number 19, San Diego State, who I believe has my boy, I'm blanking on so many names.
You're
tonight.
thinking of San Jose State and Nick Starkle?
Yeah,
No, he doesn't play for
this is San
State.
Diego State.
I literally know nothing about these two teams except for the game I watched, like on Thanksgiving when San Diego State was playing Boise State, or like the day after Thanksgiving. And I watched San Diego State's backup quarterback come in and like run a bunch and throw a little bit because their starting QB was struggling. But other than that, I don't know anything about this team.
I'm going to go with San Diego State here just because their only loss is to Fresno State, who, as we know, as we have well established this year, is pretty damn nasty. So, and it was close game.
Another transfer. Jake Hayner from Fresno State is transferring.
Oh.
And they just lost their coach to like Washington State, I think.
Jake Hayner, man.
Yeah. Also, another transfer portal. Transfer portal. I was about to tell you about somebody. Oh no, I was going to say about a coaching hire. Sonny Dykes from SMU is taking the TCU job.
Oh, really?
He's going right up the road.
Interesting. All right. Well, good for him.
He's like, I'm gonna go play against I'm gonna go be the coach of your biggest rival. I don't know about biggest rival, but
I love like
Ashley is his name. Back to SMU to be the SMU coach.
I love those controversies happen even like not at a giant scale, you know.
Yeah.
This next game is loading currently. We have App State going to visit the Raging Cajuns, Louisiana.
Louisiana's only loss in the season is to Texas. I want to remind you of that.
Yeah, they're ranked number 24.
A game they probably should not have lost.
This is for the Sun Belt Championship.
That was when Texas had the hype around them.
Mm-hmm.
I want to believe
probably
in
beat
Louisiana here. Yeah, I want to believe in Louisiana here, but like they just lost their coach, so like, give me App State. I like both of these teams. Give me App State. No Coastal Carolina in the championship this year. They got upset a couple times.
And then insane. I'm gonna take the Cajuns in this one. I still think that the discipline.
I want to pick the Cajuns, but I just feel like, the talent is obviously still there, but I think losing a coach is a hard thing to do.
Yeah, I think
either
it is.
You're gonna buck up and like play, we can play without him type shit, or you're gonna be like, oh, we miss our coach and you're gonna lose.
Yeah.
So,
no, I think they come too far. I think they're happy with their season. I think that they rally around whoever is the next man up, whoever's coaching at this point, which is probably some assistant. But yeah, give me the Cajuns. Oh, big one. ACC Championship, number 21, Houston. Number 4, Cincinnati. This is a big one.
You said ACC.
I meant that,
American Athletic Conference Championship.
Athletic Conference. Yeah, man. The Cougars,
Houston,
this is a big game.
11-1, whose only loss, I need to remind you, was to Texas Tech. How, Sway?
I mean, and they had the really big dramatic win against SMU, which was a kick return, I think is how they ended up winning that game last seconds. Yeah. And, of course, SMU is nobody to sneeze at. Very, very talented team this year as well.
This Houston team is good.
This Houston team is only...
I kind of wish this conference championship was being played here in Houston because I'd go watch them.
It's a good Houston team.
I'm a fan of Houston. I've said that over the years.
Oh, yeah. It's a good Houston team. Both teams very solid defense. Obviously, obviously the favorite here is going to be Cincinnati because of the campaign they've had. But they've had some games that were pretty close that you think maybe they shouldn't have won.
Very close. They almost lost to Tulsa.
They did look very comfortable against Notre Dame, but they were very determined at that point. I think at some point they kind of fell asleep at the wheel. Like, we're getting, we just got to win out, but you got to take each opponent seriously. It's a long season, but Cincinnati's a better team. Who do you got though?
Cincinnati has been playing good football. They beat East Carolina on Thanksgiving or Friday convincingly. So they won that game. And Houston has been just beating people. They've just been winning.
Yeah. Very stout defensively.
Yeah. Cincinnati, for me, I want nothing more for them to make the playoff. I want that more than anything right now.
Say it, you coward.
But I think Cincinnati, their close wins versus conference rivals luck runs out on Saturday.
Really?
And I think Houston gets the win.
Okay. Now, is that because I
will be, even though I'm a fan of Houston, I will be, as a college football fan, I will be cheering for Cincinnati in this game.
Same.
Because I want them to make the playoff.
Yes.
I feel like Houston's going to win the game. Because
so let me ask you this: if you had to pick one of the two, do you think it's because Cincinnati is going to shit the bed, or do you think that Houston just legitimately is that good?
I think Houston is that good.
You think Houston is that good?
I think this game is great. Like I think it's a competitive game. I just think Houston somehow finds the edge to win. Who's favorite? Obviously Cincinnati's the favorite, but by how much?
Cincinnati. The Power Index says they're going to win 82% of the time. Vegas says they're going to win by 10.5. The over-under is 52.5.
The over.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe take the over on that one. It's close, though. Very
Pray
close.
to God I'm wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, this should be a fun game. I think if this is going to be a high-scoring game, it's going to favor Houston. If this stays low-scoring, I like Cincinnati. They've been playing. They're only allowing 15 points a game right now. Very stout defensively. If this is a high-scoring game, if this is a shootout, you saw what Houston was able to do with the kick return. I mean, they're dynamic when they need to be. They're explosive when they need to be.
They got a guy who could have, like a kick returner, defensive guy who could have been a legitimate Heisman contender.
But the fact that we're having this conversation right now tells you that Cincinnati does not truly belong in the playoff. I hope they make it in. I hope they prove us all wrong. But this conversation, to me, it proves, because we wouldn't be having this conversation about Georgia. Georgia would beat U of H, right? Mm-hmm. Michigan would beat U of H. Who else is? Alabama would beat U of H. Oregon. Who else is in the? I forgot who the fourth team is. Well, Cincinnati, obviously. Notre Dame.
Oklahoma State.
I think all those. But the fact that we're having this conversation, the fact that we are this close on it, tells me Cincinnati really doesn't belong in the playoff. Now, again, I hope they prove us wrong. I hope they blow out Houston 38-3 tomorrow, and they go into the playoff confidently, and they win a game and maybe go to the Natty. Them winning the Natty would be incredible. They won't, because Georgia is unstoppable this year.
The playoff committee does not want. Here's what we need to happen. We need Georgia to absolutely scorch the pants off of Alabama tomorrow.
Yeah.
We need,
just because that'd be fun.
We need Cincinnati at number 3 because we want them to avoid Georgia in the first round.
Yeah.
We need Oklahoma State to play a close game with Baylor but win, and we need Georgia to blow the pants off of Alabama, and Cincinnati has to win. Like, Cincinnati, y'all going to win convincingly. We need Oklahoma State to probably just win close.
So you're wanting one Georgia, 2 Michigan, 3 Cincinnati, and then 4 like Oklahoma State.
4 Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
Because Georgia versus Oklahoma State, Michigan, Cincinnati.
If that's my top 4, I'm ecstatic. That's great.
How refreshing is it that we have not only we have an ACC championship with no Clemson, we have a Big Ten championship with no Ohio State.
Oh, yes.
And then we're going to have a playoff with no Alabama, no Ohio State, no Clemson, no Oklahoma, and no Notre Dame.
Yes.
I mean, teams got to win tomorrow because Notre Dame's at number 6. But
I think it's a given. Well, let's talk about those.
How refreshing. No Clemson, no Ohio State, no Alabama.
Yeah. I mean, Alabama
That's so refreshing.
Could still sneak in if they win, but I just don't see it.
They're not going to win.
We'll get to that, though. Next, we have number 15, Pitt, number 16, Wake Forest. ACC, not AAC. ACC. Pitt and Wake Forest, 2 teams that really actually Wake Forest is who you feel the worst for because they were on the cusp of something really big this year, and you lose to North Carolina, and they're unranked, and that's going to derail things. And then you lose to Clemson somehow. I'm still not sure how they lost to Clemson, but it happened.
Because Clemson woke up.
Clemson figured things out. Better late than never. But yeah, Pitt and Wake Forest. It's a 7 o'clock kickoff, ABC. This should be a pretty good game, man. 16 against 15. These games are pretty down the middle. Statistically, both teams are scoring a lot. Pitt probably has a little bit better of a defense. Pitt probably statistically is the better team, but obviously they have a bit of a better record. But yeah, Pitt is the 3.5-point favorite. The power index says that Pitt's probably going to win. Should be a really close game, but obviously Wake Forest was able to do a lot special this year. So, what you got?
I'm going to take Pitt. 1, because of Kenny Pickett. 2, because of their defense.
Yeah,
Wake Forest is still a good team. I just think Pitt is like on a different level than Wake Forest.
Wake Forest looked like a team that just believed everything was going right.
Like Kenny Pickett's going to be in New York for the Heisman ceremony, and he probably should win it, but he won't.
Right. No, but he's been phenomenal this year. 40 touchdowns, 4,000 yards, 7 interceptions, but that's to be expected. That's a good ratio.
You know what's crazy? You know who should be in New York?
Who dat?
But wouldn't be?
Who dat?
Bailey Zappi from Western Kentucky. This man is like close to beating Joe Burrow's touchdown record.
Really?
Joe Burrow had 60 touchdowns and he had 52 coming in the night.
It's pretty damn intense.
But he plays for Western Kentucky in Conference USA, so they're never going to get the look.
Of course.
Like,
you could argue what kind of defense is he throwing against, but Joe did that against the SEC West, which is
the SEC. So,
anyways,
give me Pitt.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Panthers.
Shout out to my boy Steel City Meach. I messaged him about being on our show, but he didn't answer me.
Don't expose us like that. Don't sell us out. Big 12 championship. We got Oklahoma State and Baylor, 2 top 10 teams.
From Jerry World.
This should be a fun game. This should be a really entertaining game. It's nice to see a Big 12 championship that's not Oklahoma and Texas. This should be a good one, man. Who you got?
Hold on, I just put gushers in my mouth.
Here, let me buy you some time. It's an 11 o'clock kickoff. Of course, it is in Jerry World. It is going to be the Dr. Pepper Big 12 championship this year.
It's been the Dr. Pepper Big 12 championship since the late 90s.
What, really?
Yep.
Damn, I didn't even realize.
They've been sponsoring this bitch forever.
Oklahoma State is a 6-point favorite here. ESPN says that they have a 63% chance to win. Oklahoma State only loss this year was to who was it? I'm curious.
Baylor. What did they lose to Baylor?
Was it?
Who did
It was
they lose
Iowa
to?
State. What? 24-21 at Iowa State.
Of course they did.
So you look at
Of course
that.
they did, Iowa State.
They're a field goal away from, or possession away from having an undefeated season. This is a really good Cowboys team.
Yeah.
They've looked very solid. Baylor's still very young. Baylor's done a lot right. They've been very opportunistic. I think
Dave Aranda is a great coach.
yes, 100%. This would be a big win for Dave if he were to pull this one out.
He ain't gonna get it though.
You don't think so?
Give me the Cowboys.
Okay, all right. This is a very good
Because
Cowboys
they're
team.
called the Cowboys, and they're gonna be playing at AT&T Stadium. So
Yeah, and that's the exact reason I'm picking the Bears. I think that they blow it. I mean, look, offensively, Baylor's been able to do a lot more offensively. Oklahoma State, obviously, is very powerful on the defensive side.
I think this is gonna be a shootout though. It's gonna be a barn burner.
I don't know. I think it's going to be really low scoring. I think you're looking like
Take the over in this game.
take the under. Take the
What's
under
the-
big time. Over-under
what's the number?
is 46. I'm taking
No, take the under.
take the under.
take the under.
I'm thinking Oklahoma. Excuse me. I'm thinking Baylor like 17-13, some nonsense like that, and so they
But
they
it's
score
also,
a late
if you bet the
touchdown.
under in a, if you bet the under in a Big 12 game, you deserve everything that's coming to you.
Oh yeah, no, straight up. So this is a championship game. No, I Oklahoma, and look, every time Oklahoma wins this year, it's low scoring generally. Every time Baylor is playing this year, is generally low scoring. Everything's below 30. So yeah, give me the Bears. And again, their only losses are really respectable. So they lost to TCU by
Baylor,
2.
if you win tomorrow, Notre Dame makes the playoff. Just want to let you know that.
That would hurt. But I look. I hope Oklahoma State wins. My pick is Baylor. I think they're going to pull it out. Big
Baylor
Ten.
wins.
Big Chin, the heavyweight championship of the North. We got Michigan. We got Iowa. Number 13, Iowa, who somehow is still number 13. Spencer Petras. He is, or Petrus, or however you say his name. He's hot. He's cold. And then Michigan, of course, looks unstoppable after they beat Ohio State in convincing fashion last weekend.
Convincing. Like, that game was crazy.
Hawkeyes, Wolverines. Who you got, my man?
The Wolverines. I
Okay.
just think they're on a different level. I think they're so good. I don't know how they lost to Michigan State. I genuinely don't know how
It's
they lost to Michigan State.
It's the 9 or 10 times out of 10 they win that game, and it just happened to be not their night.
Plus, it was a rivalry game, and they were in East Lansing, so
And they had the lead. And look, Lee Corso said it literally the next week about it. How he was picking Michigan to still win the Big Ten or whatever. He was like, Michigan, if you watch that game, was the better team. Yes, they lost. They had 1 or 2 plays get away from them, blown coverages, things. But they were the better team the entire game, and that was what I was thinking too. I've said it this entire year, except for last weekend, because I was tired and full of turkey and duck. I said it all year. Michigan, this is the year they're going to be Ohio State, and they did. They did it. So it feels good.
this freaking what's their running back's name?
Hassan Haskins.
Hassan Haskins. Yeah, that dude for 5 touchdowns. He went and ran all over Ohio State's defense.
I mean, looking like Jonathan Taylor out there, right? I mean, this kid's amazing. So
Looking like old boy from Oregon did.
yes,
to Ohio
exactly.
State. Can we check the scores of the games that are going on right now?
Currently, the Utes. Okay, so Oregon did just score a field goal. It is 23-3 Utes in the third quarter. 10 minutes left in the third, and then the UTSA game I don't have up anymore, but I can get it in a minute.
Yeah, I mean, UTSA was winning. UTSA did get upset by North Texas last week. Made me very sad. But
Yeah, kind of bizarre, right? But yeah, give me Michigan in that one. I hope Iowa does something because I was pulling for them all year, but Michigan all the way.
I think Michigan's just on a different level.
I agree. And then we got maybe the big one. I don't know. Georgia, Alabama, number 1, number 3. It is going to.
I mean, the SEC championship's always the biggest one of the weekend, unless usually like Ohio State's like number 1 and they're playing against whoever.
Or it's like Alabama versus a 10-2 Georgia in the past. In which case it's like, okay, well, Alabama will win. But yeah, this should be a really good
Georgia
game.
versus Auburn, because Auburn just happened to beat Alabama.
Right, exactly. Mercedes-Benz Stadium. It's going to be a 3:00 kickoff, so it'll be an afternoon game. UGA is the 66% favorite here. They are a 6.5% favorite, or 6.5.
I don't like that number at all.
Yeah, they're like, we don't want to give them a whole touchdown.
I do not like that number.
Over under is 49.5. They don't want to say 50.
Bet the under.
Bet the under.
Bet the under in this game.
I agree. I think it's gonna follow a really similar script to the Auburn game last week. Chase Young has struggled. This is obviously a really tough.
You mean Bryce Young?
Yes, Bryce Young. I'm tired of these names being all these similar names in football, man. But yes, Bryce Young struggled against a very snazzy, fancy Auburn defense, and I think we're going to see something pretty similar this week against.
Bryce Young lost the Heisman last week.
Yeah, he did.
People were like, "Oh, he had a great." I was like, he only beat a team that he was favored by 20 over by 2 points, and it took 4 overtimes to do so.
Here's a stat for you: Georgia has allowed, on average, 6.9 points a game this year. They are literally allowing less than a touchdown per game.
Yep.
The game
Georgia wins this game, and it's not close.
Yeah, I kind of agree.
Alabama doesn't get squashed that often. This time they do.
I think so too.
I
got Georgia winning.
Because you mean to tell me that this Alabama team that only beat a bad LSU team by 6 points and it took 4 overtimes to beat Auburn with a backup QB on a bad wheel, and you only beat them by 2 and you were favored by 20.
Yep.
You mean to tell me they're going to compete with Georgia? It's not going to happen, Sway.
No, I'm with you.
Not this year, Chief.
I'm with you, man. And you look at Georgia's wins, right? The point differential is insane, right? I mean, Alabama.
This might be the best defense of all time.
So Georgia wins this game like 38-20. I'll give them 20. I think they score late in garbage time. I give them 38-20. Georgia's going to win this game. It's like
I'll give them
30 plus to 13 most of the game. I give more than that because Tennessee was able to put up 17 on it. But Tennessee has a really good offense, and the Tennessee will be great next year with their offense.
Those points are probably in garbage time, though.
The game that we want, no, they scored 10 pretty early, and then they had to, but whatever. The game that I want to see more than anything, we'll never get to see, is Joe Burrow's national championship winning offense against this Georgia defense. Nothing will be more entertaining than just watching that chess match. But yeah, obviously Georgia wins big here, and I think that kicks Alabama.
I don't think this game is close, dude.
I hope you're right.
Teddy, I know you're not watching this.
You could clip, dude. I'm telling you, you need to start clipping some of this and put it on Facebook, and then Teddy would. You would get some engagement that way because people would just stop and watch immediately. So there it is. There's championship weekend. We've covered it. We've done it.
10 games, fam.
Well,
2 of them are going on right now. It's crazy.
Yep.
And it's like the best weekend of the year, though.
Is it
like second best weekend of the year because it's like simple, it's clean, not a crazy amount of games going on.
Yeah.
Also, can we talk about bowl season?
Yeah, sure. What you want to talk about?
So there's 82 bowl spots available.
Uh-huh.
And 83 teams.
Yeah.
Bowl eligible.
Yeah.
So they created another bowl game.
Uh-huh.
To let another team have a shot.
Uh-huh.
Bowl game's gonna be played in Texas. I don't know what it's gonna be called, but
this is news to me. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I heard about it. Yeah.
You got a uniform for me?
Yeah. They don't play until next week, but we're going to talk about these Army Navy uniforms because these things are hot. These might be the best ones they've done because of their simplicity.
All right, let's see. Ooh, here we go. The annual football uniform dispute. Ooh.
These helmets that Army is wearing are clean.
Let me show you this. Oh, this is the one. I hope I got the right one. It says 18 hours ago, so I assume it's pretty damn recent. Look, man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I obviously every year we go back and forth. You're Navy, I'm Army, but I well, that's only one picture here.
I think these Navy ones are slick.
I think the Navy ones look really good. I think the Navy ones might be
because of their simplicity.
Yes,
it's like that classic look with the little
star.
logo.
Oh, I mean, the Army ones look amazing. Right?
Hand painted helmets too, like Navy always does.
Really interesting.
Hand painted.
Wow. Let me see if I can find.
But I really like that sand camo that the Army's going to be wearing.
Here we go. Now we got like a little clip of it.
We'll get into that game next week, but
no, it's the Top Gun. I don't want that. What I want is the clippy clip. Where's the clip? Here it is.
Army should join the American.
Hang on.
Army should join the American Conference with Navy, because like there's going to be that one year where they're both undefeated going into conference championship weekend.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
And then we have to wait until like the second week of December to find out who wins the conference.
Here we go.
Imagine if Army versus Navy was for a conference title.
That'd be pretty intense. That would add so many stakes. I mean, that game's already hype anyways, as it is. Show me these. Ooh, the cleats. The Air Force cleats. Oh, God. I mean, the Navy cleats. Good Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Every year, I'm like, we should go to this game. And then I remember it happens in Philadelphia in December, and I'm like, fuck
It's like,
that.
do you want that? Is that what you want? You want to be covered in snowflakes?
Too cold, bruh.
Come on, man. Show me the uniform. This is like the car commercials where they never actually show the car. Oh, there's the helmet. Okay, yeah, I see what you're talking about with it being... Oh, that's so cool.
Hand painted.
That's amazing. Look at that. What a good little well-produced trailer for this too, man. Oh, that's nice.
It's so fitting that Navy wears Under Armour. Like, that just fits them.
It does. I agree with you. I don't want any documentaries. I just want to get straight to the uniform. Here we go. Here he comes. He's walking out. Oh yeah. Oh yes, sir. I haven't even kept up. Who's a better team this year right now? Who's favored going into that game?
Army. Army's 8-3. Navy's 3-8.
Ooh. But you know what? Good. They're going to look better. Army will win the game, but Navy will certainly look better. I do like both uniforms though. That says kind of clean. Yeah, I see what you're saying with the simplicity of it.
Yeah. Like, they've done some crazy ones in years past, but these might be my favorite ones because of their simplicity.
I'm here for it, man. Those are nice.
Like that sand camo and that OD green, you gotta love it.
Oh, hell yeah.
I can't tell if the Army ones are like, they're like a gray or like an off-white.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, they're like they're like that. Like, there's a bunch of different shades that they would use for camouflage. Just like the lightest of the browns is almost, you know.
And then that green is really nice.
Yeah.
Speaking of green and camo, I just want to show you this Yeti cup that I bought.
I don't see it. Where is it? Are you showing me a cup? I don't see anything. It's camouflaged too well.
Yeah, anyway, they did these for Cyber Monday.
Yeah.
Here's how crazy the secondary Yeti market is.
Uh-huh.
People are already selling these cups for over $100.
You mean to tell me they got Yeti scalpers out there?
Yep, I'm in several groups.
I don't want to live on this planet anymore. That's unbelievable.
Also, look, I want to show you this. In the camo, they got this outline of the state of Texas.
Oh, that's nice. That's a nice little, yeah.
Yeti's a Texas company.
That's a really good.
I was just at the new Yeti store in Houston yesterday.
Oh, really?
They had like 2 shelves full of these.
I didn't even realize.
I almost bought another one.
I didn't realize it was a Texas company.
Yeah, they started in Austin 15 years ago. This year's their 15th anniversary.
That's crazy. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, huh. I kind of want to buy another one because like I want to use one of them, but I want to keep one of them good. So like if I ever need to sell it, need a little bit of extra cash, I can flip it.
I got a Yeti. I didn't even realize this is a Yeti, but I guess it is.
Yeah. We big Yeti around here.
We are not sponsored by Yeti.
I literally have like Yeti products all around me right now. My other cup is up here.
See, I just don't really.
Right,
I mean, they're nice. I just don't have a need for them because whenever
it's an expensive hobby. Don't do it.
Well, the thing is like I don't I don't care if the liquids I drink are. I like my water room temperature, so like I don't care if it stays cold. I know a lot of people. That's what a lot of people are there for, but like I also have just this.
Yeah.
It's just a regular water. It's just like,
I just like them. Like I like I like them as a company.
yeah.
And I like
I get it.
I don't know. And plus, like, I knew these things were going to go up in price, so I hopped on it. They did, like, a thing called the Garage or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I know this just ran. This is my cool thing outside of college football. Like the Yeti Gear Garage or whatever. And they released a bunch of, like, older, like, stuff that they hadn't done. Like, it was, like, reserve stock that they had. They just released it. Mm-hmm. And so the King Crab Orange that came out earlier this year, I've got a cup and a cooler. But I wanted some more of this stuff, and I've got it's like a can coaster. You unscrew the top, and you can drop a big can of beer in it and screw the top back on.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, very cool.
Keep your beer cold. But I ordered like a little 10 ounce like low ball.
Oh yeah,
that's what it's called, a low ball.
Yeah.
I ordered an orange one because I just like the color. So
yeah, you do have a thing.
Probably gonna pick me up another camo one.
You do have a thing for like that Tennessee orange,
Yeah,
I've noticed that.
It's my favorite color. Orange is my favorite color.
Yeah. So. Disgusting. Well, hey guys, thank you so much for joining us. This is a fun day, a good show. We will be back next week we'll be back next week. What's the schedule? Next week is
Army Navy,
and then like nothing else.
Like start a bowl season,
maybe kind of, sort of, maybe. Okay, so maybe we'll be back next week.
We might be taking a week off.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll think about it.
Let me go look. Let me see when bowl season starts.
What'll be going bowling, honey? I want to know. I deleted the ESPN app because I was so done with football last weekend. So you got to do it for me. That's what I go through.
42 bowl games. They begin on Friday, December 17th.
Okay,
so they end on the 10th.
All right, so
I guess they've already.
So they begin on.
Bowl is Middle Tennessee State versus Toledo on Friday, December 17th.
So maybe that's what we do our bowl show. We make all of our bowl picks at that point, and then they play out over the next however many weeks.
Yeah, maybe we do like a two-parter because there's a bunch of bowl games.
Yeah, maybe do something like that. That'd be fine. Okay, cool. So break next week and then back on the 17th then?
All right, so who we got? Army, Navy. Let's just do that now.
All right, Army, Navy. Give me Army.
Yeah, Army. I'm going to take Navy, but
okay,
I'm picking Navy. Obviously, I'm going to pick Navy because I'm a Navy fan, but like also for people new around here, me and Daryl always are opposite sides of Army, Navy. His dad was in the Army. His wife's dad was in the Army. My dad and like all my cousins were in the Navy.
So we just let it happen.
Yeah, Army's gonna win the game.
Gosh, gee, I think we're undefeated since the show started. Am I wrong? Am I wrong about that? I don't think we've lost in the past couple of years. Maybe this will be the year though.
Navy was beating Army like a bunch. Like they had won like 6 or 7 in a row, and
they just kind of fell apart.
Yeah.
Just such an interesting game to watch each year because the offenses are so different.
Oh, I love it, dude.
Just running all over the place.
You want to watch a fast football game? Turn this shit on.
Oh yeah, it'll go. You can go take a shower; it'll be over.
Yeah.
So, well, guys, thank you so much for joining us. We will see you. If
don't
not
file
next
your
week,
taxes at halftime.
Don't. Yeah, it'll be gone. We will see you. If not next week, the week after. We'll be back for some bowling season. We'll be talking the playoffs. We'll be talking all those things. So, stay tuned. Take care of yourselves.
I'm gonna just say it. No show next week.
Okay.
If you're watching, we're taking a 1 week break. And then we'll come back for bowl season and playoffs and
be talking all that stuff.
Yeah, and then we'll transition to the off season. Maybe we can do some like NFL playoff type stuff.
Could do it.
March Madness.
Maybe we can watch a game. I don't know. Anything can happen. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Like, comment, subscribe, do all those things, and we will see you.
We should do an NFL draft watch party.
Then yes, we could do that. We've been wanting to do it
until April though. So
damn it, Spencer. Let me close the show.